Hello everyone, I am Anubhav Jain, ESR number 15, working at DTU Wind Energy with Professor Nikolaos Koutouloulis on the Blackstart and islanding capabilities of offshore wind power plants. Welcome to this presentation that is part of the 7th INODC meeting. Today's focus is the main research achievements of the project, and so in that scope, I will be giving an overview of the papers that we have published during the last 3 years. I started, as all do, with a literature review to understand the problem and give structure to it. This resulted in first answering the why of the problem with the main motivation factors, and then break the problem into subparts, defining them as target states, and identifying the technical challenges associated with each stage, along with the state-of-art control solutions. The output of this work was a poster and paper presented at the Wind Integration Workshop in 2018. The next logical step, also part of the literature review, was to find research gaps, i.e. the gap between the technical requirements of Blackstart units from grid cores and the current technical capabilities of state-of-art wind turbines. This involved review of network restoration codes and Blackstart service recommendations from different TSOs. The output of this work was a paper presented at the Large-Scale Grid Integration of Renewable Energy Conference in India in 2019. After completing all my courses along with the extensive literature review, I could begin working on the simulation model. We decided to start with simulating the complete energization sequence and then focus on the different aspects of it in detail later. Here you can see the preliminary results for green start of an HVDC connected wind power plant. It begins with the offshore wind power plant operating in islanded grid forming mode, followed by the energization of the offshore transformer and pre-charging of the offshore MMC. Then the HVDC link voltage can be controlled and used to pre-charge the onshore MMC. Finally, the onshore voltage at the point of connection can be controlled and onshore block load can be picked up. Some assumptions were used for this preliminary study. The average model of a grid-forming wind turbine was used in that no transformer inrush saturation and switching details were implemented. Also, simultaneous energization of wind turbines inside the wind power plant was done. This means synchronization was assumed. These assumptions have been removed in the upcoming studies of EMT transients in detail, with the focus area narrowed down later on. This work began during the promotion project and resulted in a paper presented at IECON in 2019. After simulating the entire energization sequence, we first focused on the transients related to the offshore network, i.e. the offshore transformer and MMC, and the HVDC export link, especially the onshore MMC pre-charging. Sensitivity analysis were also done to illustrate the impact of a pre-insertion resistor and voltage ramp-up rates on the transients during hard switching and soft start respectively. The results were disseminated in the final conference of promotion and published in Renewable Power Generation 2020. Next, we focused on the grid forming behavior of the offshore wind power plant, mainly in islanded operation. The idea here was to study how the offshore wind power plant, controlled as a voltage source by different grid forming methods, reacts to the different stages of energization. This involved understanding grid forming control, identifying the major different strategies, and then testing them in this specific and challenging green start scenario. Tuning of the different controls also gave insight into the oscillatory modes of each and what parameters are important to ensure stability. This work was presented in Wind Energy Science Conference in 2019 and has been published in Wind Energy Science Journal 2020. So having studied the higher level target states in the energization sequence, focusing on the different grid forming control strategies and the major transients during energization of the offshore network and HVDC link, the next step, of course, involves to look inside the wind power plant and study the startup transients of the wind turbines. Thus, we have added switching and transformer inrush details as shown here to the wind turbine model in the scope of studying the lower level target states. Recently, we have submitted a paper investigating how virtual resistance control can be used as an alternative to the traditional current control loop to deal with inrush current limitation during wind turbine transformer energization and limit sympathetic interaction between downstream string transformers. This mimics the physical soft starter used in old fixed-speed wind turbines and can help avoid use of a pre-insertion resistor while allowing higher robustness from hard switching. Keeping the focus inside the wind power plant, the next phase of work is mainly related to the sequential startup of wind turbines inside the wind power plant. This will help refine the control strategies for dealing with synchronization transients and parallel operation of grid forming and grid following wind turbines inside a wind power plant. It is nice to see interest from Vattenfall in it, and therefore I am currently working in their Golding offices. Apart from the papers highlighted today, contributions have also been made in form of posters and deliverables over the course of the project, with video recordings that can be found on YouTube or through the InnoDC website. Please feel free to contact me regarding any specific questions you may have, and thank you all for your attention.